told to do this before I shoot, so I am doing this before I shoot. I don't know what it does, but I am doing it anyways. Okay, so what is a lumbar support? What are its benefits, and then what are its potential fallbacks? And these are the questions I want to answer. So if you're here, you're probably either looking for a lumbar support for an office chair or for your car. And I want to answer all these questions for you. I'm holding this book because it is an amazing read. So if you are a reader and you're looking for the next book to read, highly recommended. I don't think you can go wrong with this book. Anyways, let me answer your questions so we can both go on our way. I'm looking forward to making tater tots tonight. My name is Manny. I am a physical therapist, and majority of my clients are tech workers. All right, so what is a lumbar support? Essentially, a lumbar support is any apparatus that helps us maintain the natural curvature of our spine. And this is important because if you look at a picture of the spine, an accurate picture of the spine, it has this that was drawn wrong. It has this natural, it has this natural S curvature of the spine, and I'm not sure if I drew that all accurate, but I threw a picture up. And that structure, that curvature of the spine is super important, because if our spine was straight on, the amount of force and load that our body will sustain will easily cause back and spine damage and injury. So the S curvature of the spine actually helps the spine act more like a spring system to be able to accept load a little more efficiently without incurring damage or injury to our spine. So what a lumbar support does here is that when we are using it for either sitting in an office chair or in a car, although I'm going to go off tangents a bit, but we can talk about lumbar support in a car specifically. But the idea behind lumbar support in a chair or a car is to be able to help keep the natural curvature of the spine so that our spine will be able to absorb load efficiently without incurring injuries or damage to the spine. The other thing that the lumbar support helps us with is, again, if it's helping us with the natural curvature of the spine, it helps us prevent roundness of our lower back, which, if you notice here, it throws my whole spine off. So in reality, a lumbar support is not just to help for your lower spine, it's also to help the entire spine, and in some sense, the entire body when you are sitting in a car or in a chair. If you're sitting in a chair or a car without appropriate lumbar support, what can tend to happen is that we get into this rounded position. And now, being in this rounded position in and of itself is not entirely a bad thing, unless we stay in that position for a long time. And then what that happens, or what that does to our back, is that it stretches structures behind along our back that can cause micro damage and micro inflammation that can induce back stiffness. And that's why lumbar support can be really useful to help not only with an optimal alignment of our body for our body to be able to absorb vertical load appropriately, but also to help prevent back pain and discomfort. So that is why a lumbar support is really important, especially if you are someone who works in front of a computer all day, or if you're someone who drives often, or in general, if you're someone whose back tends to be very sensitive to prolonged sitting positions. All right, so although lumbar support can be very useful, it has its fallbacks, and most of the time its fallbacks actually is from the user. It's more of a user error than the lumbar support itself, assuming the lumbar support is appropriate for you. So what do I mean by user error? Most of the time when we have that lumbar support, we just rely on that lumbar support a lot. And assuming that you sit in the chair perfectly, that doesn't necessarily mean that you should maintain yourself in that position all the time, every time you sit in the office chair or a car seat. Your body likes to move, it needs to move. If you sit in that chair, even if it's a perfect posture, eventually your body will become sensitive to that posture, and you maintain a constant pressure in the same areas of your body, along your butt cheeks and maybe along your back, that can become sensitive over time. So the lumbar support does not give permission to stay in that prolonged position for a long time, assuming you're even using the lumbar support correctly. And that brings me to my second point about the fallbacks of lumbar support. The second thing about lumbar support, when people slapping on the backrest of their car seat or an office chair, they would think that's all you need to do and not even end up using the lumbar support, because they end up leaning forward and rounding their back without even using the lumbar support, which defeats the purpose of the lumbar support. So if you are getting yourself a lumbar support, or if you have one already, make sure that you are definitely using it by resting against the back seat of your car or office chair. If you're having trouble with this, especially in an office chair, you can definitely play around with your work setup to position the computer, the keyboard in an ergonomic position, while being able to be comfortably resting, while you're able to comfortably rest against the back seat of your office chair. Well, so yeah, that's really the benefits of a lumbar support, and then some of the detrimental or fallbacks of not using a lumbar support appropriately. So if you have it, just make sure that you are using it appropriately. Yeah, thank you for your time. I really appreciate that you did not have to spend this time with me, so thanks a lot. I will see you in my next video, which will probably be a week from now. All right, bye-bye.